born in the Himalayas for the Himalayas. Back in 2016, when Royal Enfield introduced the Himalayan, the company might not have imagined such a grand success for its first adventure tourer. Despite having several niggles throughout its lifespan, the Himalayan became a cult and an instant favorite for adventure seekers. Now in 2023, RE has stepped up its game by introducing this, the all-new Himalayan, claiming to be a better version of its predecessor. Is it really though? And in what ways? Hi, my name is Arun and you are watching Express Drives. This is the all-new Himalayan 452. All new we say? Because every component down to the last nut and bolt is brand new in this Himalayan. Starting with its design, multiple small changes have made a big impact on the overall design of this new Himalayan. For starters, this new fuel tank is more rounded and more muscular, giving it a more beefy stance motorcycle. As a result, the bars are more rounded as well. Moving a little front, it gets a new beak here that gives the bike an appearance of a dirt bike. It also gets a full LED headlamp from the 650s. If you come a little back, the panels are also sleeker. You still get a split seat setup, but the contouring and shape are different. Coming to its rear, the shape and size of the luggage rack is also a little different from its predecessor. If you notice more closely, the shorter rear fender gives it a more sportier stance this time. Also, you get LED turn indicators both at the rear and the front as well. Also, the exhaust is a little more sleeker than before. Overall, the Himalayan, we feel it's a faithful evolution of its predecessor. While the design is new, as you can see, but Royal Enfield has done a good job without veering off too much from its original design. It looks a rugged machine that is meant to do all the dirty stuff. More on that later. Getting into the heart of matter is this new 452cc liquid cooled motor that we have been inquisitive about, called the Sherpa 450 series engine. This engine puts out 40 horses and 40 Nm of peak torque. After riding it for more than 300 kilometers, I can confirm that this motor is a lot more spirited than its predecessor, the 411cc oil-cooled unit. Even though RE claims 90% of the peak torque to be available within the 3000 RPM mark, in the real world, I felt the initial punch missing down in the lower revs. As a result, I had to short shift quite often in these twisties. However, overall, this new engine is a lot more smoother, more refined and powerful than the old engine. We also need to point out that at an altitude of 10,000 feet and above, it could only access around 28 PS of power. So if we could get it in our home conditions, maybe we can eke out a much more powerful performance than we have done it here. Nevertheless, even in these twisties, we have managed to grab hold of 90 and 100 kilometers per hour of top speed easily.
Another ace in the hole is the equipment on offer with this new Himalayan. It will not be wrong to say that it is by far the most modern Enfield to come out from the bike maker's Ergonomics facility in Tamil Nadu. Not just LED headlights and a USB charger, the new Himalayan is the first Royal Enfield to get a fully digital TFT instrument console. This circular 4-inch panel houses a plethora of functionalities including smartphone connectivity via Bluetooth, music playback, and the biggest of them all, an inbuilt navigation powered by Google Maps. Other novelties include ride-by-wire with 2 ride modes, performance and eco, and switchable rear areas. Sadly, there is no traction control on offer as expected earlier. It is surprising to believe that an Enfield is keeping up with competition in the features department. But it does not end with just the features. Even the hardware witnesses a significant upgrade over its predecessor. A suspension setup from Showa comprising 43mm upside-down front forks and a rear monoshock, and braking hardware featuring larger 320mm front and 270mm rear rotors. But the biggest and most significant hardware upgrade are the tubeless tires wrapped around these very traditional spoke wheels, a rarity for bikes in the segment.
One question that always rises up in the case of Himalayan is its ergonomics. Now, Royal Enfield has always been a tall bike with a tall stance and a tall riding height. but the older bike was definitely a cumbersome task due to its additional weight. In this model, Royal Enfield has able to manage to shave off 3 kilos from its weight, which makes it slightly easier. Although that said, the seat height has been increased to 825 mm as opposed to 800 mm in the previous version. As you can see, with my riding height of 5'8" and above, I am tiptoeing on both my feet. It's manageable, yes, definitely, but it will take some time to getting used to it. Also, due to the additional weight saving, you can move the bike a little more freely this time. But yes, it will take some getting used to. However, I must admit that the seats are very cushiony and offer a firm support to my backside. And Royal Enfield is offering 3 seating options with this new Himalayan. The standard seat that you can see is 825 mm. There's a low seat option of 805 mm and touring seat of 845 mm. In addition to that, there is a rally kit that offers a seat height of 855 mm. So there's plenty of options on offer from Royal Enfield this time.
However, the most impressive aspect regarding the new Himalayan has to be its ride and handling. Being an adventure tourer, we like to explain it in 2 parts. Starting with the touring part, the new Himalayan is a far improved motorcycle when it comes to on-road dynamics. A larger wheelbase of 1510 mm lends more stability to the bike, while the G.O.A.T suspension offers a perfect balancing act of a plush riding experience without feeling lofty on undulations. Highlighting this fact is a 20 mm increased travel at the rear that makes it more forgiving in broken patches. With a new twin spar frame in place, Enfield has managed to shave off 3 kilos from the curb weight of the previous Himalayan. This isn't a huge deal, but the big impact has been made in its weight distribution, which RE claims to be more proportionate this time, but didn't share exact figures. Nevertheless, this does make a difference as the new Himalayan is far easier and eager to lean over in corners. Speaking of corners, these new dual-purpose rubbers from G.O.A.T, specifically designed for the Himalayan 450, offer ample cornering clearance, and never during my ride I felt out of control on tarmac. But that's just half of it. These tires are now tubeless, which ticks the convenience box that the older Himalayan just couldn't offer. However, there are still questions about availability of these units at the time of launch, since homologation is still in process. When it comes to the adventure part, the same tires offer ample grip on loose surfaces that inspire enough confidence in a relatively less experienced rider in off-road conditions like me. The off-roading section further proved how well RE has managed to damp the new suspension setup, where it feels far more forgiving than the older bike. Given the nature of this bike, Enfield has sensibly opted for a progressive braking setup, which is useful in off-road conditions. However, a bit more feel at the front brake lever would have been more welcome, but that's just me nitpicking. The brakes do work well in conjunction with the switchable rear ABS that allows you to lock up the rear and have some fun while trail bashing.
Making a better version of the Himalayan would have been a Herculean task for RE, not because the original Himalayan 411 was free of niggles, but because despite being imperfect, it was a gem of a motorcycle both on and off the road. Thankfully, RE has managed to retain the Himalayan DNA while adding some new flavors to it. While we would still want a thorough off-road test for it, the new Himalayan is a lot more forgiving than its previous iteration. And on-road, this motorcycle is a far much improved and versatile motorcycle than the previous model, be it performance or handling. After a full day of riding, it will surely leave a wide grin across your face. During shooting this review, RE hasn't yet announced prices for this new Himalayan, so prices will definitely be a key. But judging by our experiences in the last 2 days, we can surely say that if you're into adventure touring or would want to adventure into one, this new Himalayan is definitely one of the machines you need to consider and take a test ride on. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and share it with like-minded enthusiasts. Also, subscribe to the Express Drive channel for more automotive content like this. Thank you for watching.